Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I've been expecting you. So, I heard you want to make a good bass tone, huh? You've come to the right place. What's that? You ready to get into it? Awesome. Okay, so, how's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Basically, I'm going to be taking you through the steps of how I'm making videos. So, what's recording me right now is currently my iPhone 6s on an app called ProMovie. That is what I film with, and basically that's how everything gets started here. You want to see Papa Roach in the background there. Very nice. Also, you can spot some supernatural people there too. Anyways, so we're going to be taking you on kind of like a tour. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera since this is very tiring on my arm. I don't see how vloggers do this. They must have some good strength. But anyways, we're going to get right into it. So I'm going to show you the actual basses that I record with. My children, my pride. Alright, these are my children right here. So you see the red one. We'll go over their actual names first, then we'll go over what I call them. So, the one on the left here, the red one, is a 5-string Traben Phoenix Blood Red, or Rose is the name that I call her. In the back there, you're seeing Chloe. She is a 5-string Traben Chaos. And then on the right there, that's Coops, my big boy. He was my first Traben Phoenix. He is a Traben Phoenix 5-string as well. It's Black Shadow. So they are my 3 that I have over here, and then you'll see all the way over here. Cass is over here. He is a 5-string Traben Array, obviously red version. So yeah, basically this is where all of them are. Cass is probably the one that I use for practicing a lot, since his action is lower, so his strings are kind of easier to fret. And I try and give them all good screen time, though I do need to get Chloe's strings changed because she isn't sounding too great. So mainly you're going to see the 2 Phoenixes and Cass in videos. But yeah, basically these are the ones that I record with. They are just gorgeous. They are my prized possessions. Alright, so now that you've seen the basses and what they actually are and look like, I'm going to go ahead and take you into my computer and we'll go over how I make their tones. Alright everybody, now we are here in the world of computers. So, contrary to what you might believe, this is not what I make my tones in. Audacity is simply to show you the basic sound of the bass without any effects on it. So, I'm recording through a PreSonus AudioBox USB 96. I think it's about $100 at like your local music store. I think it gets the job done really well. But the basic DI sounds like this. So if you could tell, that was better than Drugs' riff, and it sounds like ass. Yes, it really does. Sony Vegas is the program that I pretty much... it binds everything together. So once everything's recorded, everything's mixed in Sony Vegas, and videos are edited in Sony Vegas, and yeah, it all comes together in there. So, the next step, basically, so we have the standard DI sound. We know that it's running through the interface audio box. So basically, this next program is called Amplitude 4, and it is pretty much you can hear me coming through. Okay, we're gonna mute this for now. But so yes, I'm plugged in. The microphone is plugged into the audio box too. So normally I would have the patch cable running into the bass. And then I'd be able to hear the bass sound from here. But this is an amp simulator, which pretty much lets you mess around with tones, and you can create a lot of different cool sounds if you just play around with it a lot. So I've got some presets. You see, I've made a few different presets for each of my basses. I don't use too many of them anymore since I've found what I like, and I usually stick with it. But basically, there is one sound for Coops that I really like, and that's with the no chorus. So I'm going to go ahead and record a little snippet of Better Than Drugs with that, and then we're going to go ahead and put it in there. So I'll play it for you right now so you can hear how this sounds as opposed to the DI. Okay, so normally, if I find a tone that I like, I'll go ahead and go to the bottom left icon here, and I'll make sure this is FX and R is hit, And then I will record. I'll hit this record button here, and I will record the bass sound into Amplitube directly, and then I'll go and export the audio into my documents. And then we're gonna go up here and go into this bass audio. This is every single bass track I've ever recorded for all the covers. So basically, it'll be in here. So pretty much, okay. Let's take a listen to the Soldier cover that I just did. So you can hear, this was recorded off of a different tone. This is not Koops' normal tone. This is a tone that I made for Chloe back then, so it's a little more rough sounding, so just take a little listen. Alright, so we are going to work with that. So if I've got the Soldier riff, it was created in Amplitube. I'm going to go ahead and drag this into Sony Vegas. So now, this is the waveform, so this is what we are working with basically. So, let me just go ahead and play it again. Still the same riff. Okay, so we're going to work with this. So basically, we're almost done here actually. There's not a whole lot left. It's just one last thing, and it is going to go on to the effect. Keep going, and it is called the Bass Forge Hellraiser. And it is another amp simulator, but it creates a really good metal tone. I found this off from Jake Pitts of Black Velvet Brides as well, so if you want, go ahead and show him some support. Since he is the one who introduced me to this program. But this can work in Reaper. It can work in, I think, pretty much any recording software. But it is like Amplitube, though I'm using Amplitube by itself as a standalone thing. I'm using the Hellraiser into Sony Vegas so it can go ahead and add its effects onto something I've already recorded. So you guys heard how Soldier sounds without, so we're going to play it now. And I'm going to go ahead and check the Bass Forge Hellraiser on. You can hear the difference. So, an audible difference, obviously. It's still not a great tone. I'm not a big fan of it, but that's why we play around with these things. So, cut the mids out, boost the bass up, turn the gain down just a little bit, put the treble up, put the raise hell switch on, turn up the clank, and now we get something like this. Also change the type of amp that it goes through as well. So this is the JST, this is the default. There are plenty other amps you can try and see if you like better. And there's also a pedal built into the program called the Demon Fuzz. If you're really looking for a nasty, nasty tone, you can turn this on, but beware, it is quite intense. So we're going to play it from how I've got it now, then we're going to turn the pedal on and fool around with it so you can hear how it affects the tone. So basically, I can really work without it. I've only used it a few times, but one thing I will say to do, if you have a solid timing skill and you really want that metal tone, this clank knob can easily go all the way up and you can get this kind of sound along with the treble. So basically, that is kind of how that tone is made. So you take the little sample we recorded earlier. This is the same interface, just different plugins. So we went from this to... We went from that, and now we have this. So basically, that is how that tone is made. I'll sometimes, if I'm not loving how the high end is sounding, I'll smooth it out a little bit, so you can hear kind of what that does. It kind of cuts out the low end. It's the same thing as turning down the treble, basically, but it's just another program. You can also EQ it a little more. Give it some extra bass if you need it. It does not need that. But putting more treble on it can do that. Can do pretty good wonders too. Yeah, basically, the amplitude is something that can keep you occupied for hours trying to find a good tone with. But honestly, I think this Hellraiser is a real thing of art. So, basically, just put that in. The Hellraiser does enhance the sound a lot. So, a normal mix, this would probably be taken down about maybe -6 dBs. And the song would probably stay at about level. But basically, you just put it in to where if you mute the bass track and you're just listening to the song and you take it off and you hear nothing, like you hear no enhancement, then you know the bass is too quiet. But if the bass starts drowning out the song, then it's too loud. So you got to find the right mix between it. Just playing around with it all until you're done. A lot of this is playing around. You'll really not hear a lot of my recent videos sounding the same tone-wise, just because, I mean, I like to try and mix things up and not keep the tone the exact same every cover. Obviously, for a slower song, you're not going to want this kind of tone, but that's when you'll enhance the bass and you'll play really softly if you're wanting a very smooth kind of tone. And you might even use the Hellraiser for this, for a softer kind of song, but you're just going to want to take it back a little bit. But if you're playing a metal song too, then go as hard as you can and enhance that. Definitely the Raise Hell switch is one of the big features on this that makes it sound really good. Turn the clank up, turn the treble out, cut the mids out, and put the bass up too. Just play around with it, man, until you're finding a good sound that you dig. So that's basically how my tones are made. You know the basses, you know the programs, you know the materials that I use with it. So if you're looking to start some bass covers, I don't want to hear any more of the let's just put the phone out and record the amp with the song coming from the phone. Nah, man, if you're gonna make this, put a little bit of effort into it. Take some pride in what you're doing. This is supposed to be like art that you're creating here, so why not go the extra mile to try and make it as best as you can? So that's just me preaching to you a little bit right there. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody enjoyed the video. Any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. And until next time, everybody, peace out.